Lionsgate has just revealed that Stef Dawson has been cast as Annie Cresta, Finnick's, played by Sam Claflin's, love interest in the final 2 chapters of the Hunger Games series, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. A native of Australia's capital city, Canberra, Dawson is known for her work on television as well as numerous independent films, including the recent thriller Wrath. So, Amy Rose, what do you think about Dawson joining the cast?
I'm a bit indifferent because I really haven't seen much of her work. From her picture, she's a pretty lady and brings something to it. But I am familiar with the subject because I read all 3 of the books. And Annie is a very interesting character. She's very complex. You know, she's much more than what meets the eye originally, as you learn from Sam's character, Finnick. And I definitely think she was one of the most interesting parts throughout the series to see once she was introduced, you know, what's real character and, you know, what does the Capitol want you to see and what really happened. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of political undertones associated with her. So they must have seen something special in her because she's definitely not a boring character by any means. She's very interesting, very layered, and you know, I'm happy to give her the benefit of the doubt and see what happens because I'm sure her screen tests were amazing. So we'll see. But I'm really excited for the next films.
Yeah, I have seen her work, but not a lot like you, Amy Rose. I haven't seen her exposed to a lot. And so I have neither really any strong positive nor negative feelings about her. But I will say this. When I think about the character of Annie and I look at her, I see her. I do. Yeah. So I'll at least say that much. I mean, that's not really important in the grand scheme of things. My biggest concern here is still the casting of Sam Claflin as Finnick.
Really?
They're going to have to sell me on that. Because one of the things, now, I wasn't thrilled with the second 2 books. Now, I know that puts me in the minority. I like the first one more than I like the second 2 books. And
first one was the best, no question.
Yeah, so I actually I read the last 2 books in one weekend sitting at poker tables in Vegas. So, you know, when I wasn't in a hand, I had my iPad out, reading my Kindle app, and I got through both books in that weekend. And I had a certain image of Finnick in my head, and I got to admit, right now, I'm not really sold on Sam Claflin. I know we're supposed to be talking about Dawson here, but I'm just not so, because that's her. Annie is all about her entire character is defined by what her relationship to Finnick is, and so I'm still not sold on Claflin. I didn't really like him much in that Snow White movie. I haven't been thrilled, but not really turned off by anything I've seen of him so far. So I'm still not. I'm apprehensive. Let's just say that I'm a little apprehensive with high hopes.
Well, John, let me ask you who you'd rather see in that role. When you were reading and you had an image in your mind, was there anyone specific?
I'm gonna humiliate myself here a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And I forget his name, but I'm sure you ladies will be able to tell me his name instantly. But as I'm reading, because my wife is a big fan of Vampire Diaries. And so I have seen a lot of the episodes. I've seen a lot of the episodes. And when I was reading the books and I reading the character of Finnick, all I ever saw in my head was the one star of
Ian Somerhalder.
That's him. Ian Somerhalder. That's all I could see in my head was that dude. Mm-hmm. And suddenly now, when your mind, and you know, granted, when your mind makes up its mind about something, then you're automatically disconnected from what actually happens. That's one of the reasons I don't. If I haven't read a book yet and a movie's coming out, generally speaking, my rule is don't read the book, because then your mind creates assumptions, and then the movie will do nothing but disappoint you because it doesn't meet your expectations or your assumptions, right? So I broke that rule with Catching Fire and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't see Claflin.